everybody, I'm Tom and you are watching me play Warframe. Today, we're going to go over Grendel. I can finally go over my Grendel build because he's out and he's awesome. And I kind of want to put the other helmet on him, so I'm going to. Doesn't go as well with my mustache. But, Grendel is a lot of fun. I really like him. So essentially, I will go over his abilities first. He eats things. That's pretty much all his abilities. Each enemy you consume grants 50 bonus armor, so the more enemies that are in your belly, the more armor you have. So he is pretty hard to kill because he has a shitload of health and a shitload of armor most of the time. But his first ability, Feast, you just eat things. If you push and hold it, you'll vomit them out as well, it's worth noting, but it's push 1 to eat. Also worth noting, all of his other abilities require you to have an enemy in your stomach before you can actually use any of them. So his 1 is by far his most important ability. But 2, I don't like his 2 that much. Well, I shouldn't say I don't like his 2. All of the buffs are fine. Essentially what you do is when you have an enemy in your stomach, you can like consume them, and it will give you a buff to you and all your squad members. And all the buffs are pretty good. The problem that I have with it is that its base duration is so low, and none of his other abilities require duration, so it's beneficial to tank the duration in place of having extra strength. So it's kind of like... The one thing this is quite useful for, though, is that it will heal Grendel when you uses it. So self-healing is really good for him. You sort of eat an enemy and then you can just self-heal with it. But the actual buffs themselves, it's not really worth putting in the duration that it requires to make this as good as it could be. His 3, very fun, not particularly good because I don't think the damage is high enough, but essentially you puke out one of the enemies in your stomach and turn them into a projectile, and does a bunch of toxin damage. It's very fun and cool, but I don't end up using it that often. What I do use is his 4. So Pulverize, I'm still going to call it Meatball because it's a better name. Don't at me. You turn into a big ball and you roll around. This costs literally 0 energy. Every time you jump, you do damage to all of the enemies in your stomach. So you end up killing things very quickly. You can eat like 30 enemies and then just jump around in a ball and kill them all as you're going. Also worth noting, when you're in your ball, the enemies that you kill in your stomach, you'll pick up all the drops that they would have dropped. Which means, if they drop an energy orb, you will get your energy back, which is really useful, because the 1 will constantly drain energy based on how many enemies are in your stomach. So you can see that drain per second is 0.86. That is 0.86 per enemy in your stomach. So if you have 10 enemies, that's 8.6 energy per second. So you will drain your energy pretty quickly in this build. But that's his abilities in a nutshell. I'll go over the build now. Oh, whoops. There we go. So this is the build we got. It's a 2-former build. I foremaned away one of his D polarities. Arguable that you could put something else in there instead. So actually, by default, he comes with a dash polarity and 2 D polarities. I swapped out one of the Ds and then added a second V. So, But we have Corrosive Projection to get rid of enemy armor. We have Power Drift for ability strength. Chance to resist knockdown is actually pretty good as well, because he doesn't really have like any kind of status immunities, so bombards will keep knocking him over. It's kind of annoying. I found that, for some reason I found it more with him than a lot of other Warframes, but anyway. We have Vitality to give us a shit ton of health. As you can see here, we have 2500 health. Hunter Adrenaline, so that when we take health damage, we will get energy back. That is actually quite important. We have Fleeting Expertise and Streamline, both at max rank. Pretty much every one of these builds, I say, hey, you just need it at rank 4. In this particular example, we want both at rank 5, and the reason is because we have negative duration. So, the way that drain per second works on abilities that have energy drain per second is their efficiency is based on a combination of the efficiency stat and the duration stat. So if you go into negative duration, you want to increase your efficiency above the 175 cap, because it will actually counteract the loss you're getting from that duration. So if you have a drain per second energy drain, and you're going negative duration, overstack your efficiency. Otherwise, you don't need to. But right here we have a max fleeting expertise and a max streamline. We have stretch, just because that's purely just for the eating range, because that puts up the range to 36 meters, which is huge. You can just eat people from wherever. And that extra 45% is all you need. You don't need anything else there. We have transient fortitude for a bunch of ability strength that costs duration. Notably here, I have it at rank 8 rather than rank 10, just because, one, it fits, and two, the duration, it's mainly because it fits, to be perfectly honest. We have Umbral Intensify for ability strength, and then we have Orc Secrets for more ability strength. So as you can see here, 224 ability strength, that's quite high, and our efficiency is technically above 175. I have Arcane Grace, Arcane Nullifier. I mean, you can have pretty much anything in here. I don't think there's anything that synergizes particularly well with him. But, let's go over the test. So the way that Grendel works, I'll put you up to 145. They're all here. Is he eats things. So let's just come over here. They're all mine now. You can see down in the bottom right, I've killed quite a few of the enemies in my stomach. I can just roll around as a ball and knock people over. Now, I still have one enemy in my stomach. If I were to guess, I'd say it's probably a healer. If I push and hold one, I can spit it out. Yep, it's a healer. Kill it. Now is 2. It'll give you a buff. My buff lasts, like, no time at all, because I've literally stacked against range. But it will also heal you, as we didn't really see there. And his 3, he spits. So your enemy is a projectile. And that's it! They were level 145 enemies. They were nothing. Literally nothing. Like, he can take up to, like... I haven't tested this, but if I were to guess, like, level 200 easily. 250 maybe even. Like, he is absolutely ludicrous with taking these out. You can show it again, because, I mean, one of the big problems, healers, right? Not anymore, because I can just eat the healers. Just eat them all. See there, the heal. Also worth noting is that all of your items will get pulled in when you do your big gulp attack. There we go, ran out of energy, which means all of these guys get regurgitated. Which does actually make it a bit harder, but... because when I take health damage, I get my energy back. Look at that, I'm back at full. Let's eat you too. And just roly-poly into this wall. As you can see here, whenever you hit the ground, you do a bunch of damage to all the enemies inside. Also, while you're in your ball... I'm just jumping, by the way. You get a double jump, so you can jump once. You can actually jump a second time. And his momentum is very much dependent on hills and things like that, but your jump will gain you speed. I'm assuming heavy gunners are left in here. But, as you can see, really pretty easy. Also worth noting is that, you see he has no armor. When he's in your stomach, they will actually lose armor. Just like that. So that's Grendel in a nutshell. He's freaking awesome and a lot of fun. Essentially the way I play him is eat everything, then turn into a ball. That's it. But yeah, that's Grendel. He's lots of fun. And pretty damn good as well. So, if you liked the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Woo! Grendel is fun.